Most men don't stay broke because they're irresponsible. They stay stuck because they're trapped in financial survival mode or reaction mode. In survival mode or reaction mode, it silently kills confidence, discipline, and leadership. I'm gonna show you the framework I used when I was buried in debt, I was overwhelmed and trying to catch up, to then go on to financial stability, confidence, and leading my family and team with peace. Before we go any further, you should know this. I didn't study this from books alone. I actually lived this. I paid off my debt, I rebuilt my credit, and I earned multiple promotions. And I did it while I was working, while providing, and while feeling the pressure that you're probably feeling right now. More importantly, I didn't just fix my money. I fixed the man that was handling the money. That's why I'm telling you this works. Because if nothing changes, this season that you're in, it just repeats. Another year of almost. Another year of pressure. Another year of telling yourself next year will be different. And deep down, you know you were meant for more than that. Reaction mode looks like this. You're doing just enough to stay afloat. You're reacting instead of leading. You're constantly tired, not just physically, but mentally. And the hardest part, you don't feel lazy, you feel overextended. I remember being there. I was checking accounts instead of building them. I was making decisions based on urgency instead of intention. Feeling like life was happening to me instead of through me. That's reaction or survival mode. And once I stopped judging myself for that, I could finally see what was actually happening. Here's the shift that changed everything. Financial survival mode is not a money problem. It's an identity and nervous system problem. When your life is built around pressure, your brain optimizes for short-term relief, not long-term growth. That's why budgeting feels restrictive. That's why discipline, it feels exhausting. That's why consistency feels hard for you. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're adapted. This mirrors what we already know about discipline though. When pressure and punishment come, when they come first, the body resists growth instead of trusting it. And once you understand that, the next steps, they become unavoidable. Step one is to kill the survival identity. Here's the hard truth. You will never build wealth while identifying as a man who is just trying to make it. Survival identity, it sounds like, I'll deal with that later. Right now isn't the time. Things never calm down until you do. I want you to write this down today. Write this sentence down. I am the man responsible for creating stability in my household. And then I want you to read it daily. Identity precedes behavior, always. And I didn't understand that for a long time, which that's the reason why I kept repeating the same year over and over again. For years, I thought the answer was another tactic. Every December, I sit down like everyone else and I'd say, this is the year, this upcoming year, this is going to be it. This is going to be my year. I'd make the New Year's resolution. I'd buy the budgeting template. I purchased the course promising that I'd be able to wipe out my debt by the summer. And for a quick moment, I felt good. I was motivated. I was hopeful. But as soon as life applied pressure, I'd revert. And the truth I had to face, it was that motivation wasn't changing me. It was just stimulating me. It gave me dopamine, a feeling of progress without being different. I wasn't failing because I lacked information. I was failing because I hadn't built a man who could stay consistent when it stopped feeling exciting. So I made a decision that changed everything. I stopped buying plans and I committed to proving I could keep one small promise to myself every day, even when no one was watching. That's when discipline stopped feeling like pressure and it started becoming identity. And once that identity was in place, I needed a win to prove it was real. So step 2, create a financial tipping point. Every man needs a win, not a perfect plan. There's a tipping point where confidence returns. Maybe it's first debt paid off, first $1,000 saved, first extra $500 a month earned. That win tells your brain we're no longer drowning. Choose one objective for the next 30 days, not 10. Do not choose 10, just one. Momentum, it beats being overwhelmed, but momentum fades if you don't lock it in. Step 3, install simple systems. Men fail financially because they rely on motivation instead of systems. There's no other way to say it. Here's a simple weekly system that I would do. Your bills, automate them. Your savings, automate it. Even if it's $25. For the longest, all I had was $25 automated into my savings. Then do a 10-minute weekly money check-in. That's it. Systems create stability. Stability creates confidence. Confidence creates growth. All right? I need you to stay with me because this next part is where most men either break through or stay stuck for another 5 years. The moment my life changed wasn't when I made more money. It was when I stopped reacting and I started leading. I remember the first full month after I automated everything. My bills were handled then. My savings, it was starting to move. There was no scrambling. There was no guessing. There was no extra legwork for me. And for the first time in a long time, my mind was a little quieter. That quiet, it mattered more than I actually realized. Because when I wasn't constantly worried about my finances, I could finally be present. At work, I wasn't distracted. I wasn't surviving a day. I was involved. I was engaged. I was honestly thinking clearly. I started contributing more. I started speaking up with confidence, not because I was pretending, but because I actually knew my numbers. I knew where I stood. That clarity, it gave me confidence. And confidence changed how people saw me. When you walk in and you're calm and people trust you, when you're consistent, people rely on you. And when you're reliable, responsibility follows. That responsibility, it turned into promotions. Those promotions turned into higher income. Not because I chased more money, but because I built stability first. That's not unique to me though. That's how leadership works for everybody. Step 4, move from reaction to leadership. A leader doesn't wait for motivation. A leader creates order. Because when things are predictable, your nervous system, it stops bracing. You can finally think clearly. Order looks like predictable money, predictable routines, predictable follow through. And once order is established, growth, it just accelerates. And this is the same principle behind healed discipline. Safety first, and then consistency. I need you to kill the survival identity. I need you to create a financial win. And I need you to install simple systems. Lead instead of reacting. Do this, and your life, it will change. You weren't created to live in financial fear. You were created to lead calmly, steadily, and confidently. Your family, they don't need perfection. They need stability. And stability starts with the man making the decisions. So if this spoke to you, I want you to comment lead. And when you're ready, watch the next video, because that is where the real transformation begins. Later.